These are the rankings just unveiled. They look very familiar. Third straight week that the top 6 has stayed the same. Alabama, Notre Dame, Clemson, Ohio State, followed by Texas A&M and Florida. Pleased, as always, to be joined by Gary Barta. He's the athletic director at Iowa and the chair of the College Football Playoff Selection Committee. Gary, how would you describe the effect on the rankings that the number of games Ohio State has played up to this point has had so far and could potentially have?
Well, we've talked about it from day one that the number of games was going to be critical. We were able to watch another game that Ohio State played. That was important. Justin Fields scores 2 running and passing, and Olave gets involved. And so it was important that the committee see another game by Ohio State, and they performed well.
In the event, and I realize this is a little bit fluid right now, but if Ohio State were to not be able to play in the Big Ten championship in an unusual season with the pandemic and the rescheduling, how would conference championship in that particular scenario, or the lack thereof, impact their resume?
Well, conference championships is one criteria that we use, and certainly that'll be considered. But of course, we consider the entire body of work, and we look at the teams they've played head to head. So it's one important piece, but it's not the only piece.
As an athletic director in the Big Ten, in your judgment, what's the right thing to do with Ohio State since it can't play Michigan going into this weekend, potentially in the Big Ten championship game?
Well, with my CFP chair hat on, I haven't talked to the commissioner. I haven't talked to any other ADs, and so I'm going to wait. I'm not going to project what might happen, and just wait and see.
As you look at the rankings, Cincinnati has lost games a couple of weeks, and we're looking on the screen right now at the Big Ten requirements at the moment, though the Big Ten athletic directors potentially could reevaluate this. Teams have to play 6 of 8 games to be eligible. Cincinnati lost a game last week. They're not going to be able to play Tulsa in the regular season game, and they slipped a spot. How much of their slip was a result of them not playing, or was it just Iowa State's impressive performances the last couple of weeks?
Well, you hit it on the head with the latter. The committee has been watching Iowa State these last few weeks, especially the win over number 20, the 20th team in Texas, and then really took it to West Virginia this past week. Breece Hall's leading the country in rushing. Brock Purdy continues to perform well, and they only gave up 6 points. They're in first place in the Big 12. So it was really the committee's respect for what Iowa State has done, and not a penalty for Cincinnati.
I've learned through years of doing this not to put you in a situation where there would be hypotheticals or projecting outcomes. So let me ask this question this way, and I'm sure you'll know what it means. What's the committee's appetite for trying to avoid opponents in the playoff that, I don't know, perhaps would have played before, or maybe even played 2 more times before? What's the committee's appetite for trying to avoid rematches?
Well, the committee's hunger and appetite is to, when we get to that championship weekend, find the best 4 teams, irregardless of that kind of scenario. So, and I say that with a smile on my face. We have this ranking, we have one more, and then, of course, championship weekend. We're going to identify who the committee believes are the best 4 teams in America, and rank the rest of the top 25 as well.
Gary, always a pleasure to talk to you. Thanks for spending some time with us tonight.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.